This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glynn Lavender.
Hi, and welcome to episode 535 of Understanding Dark Table. This is not Understanding Dark Table. What am I talking about?
It's awesome. Shutters Inc. This is the best beginning ever.
That's as good as it gets, people. Episode 535 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and that there, talking all over the top of me, as usual, is Mr. Glynn Lavender from creativephotoworkshops.com.au.
When I first dialed into you, it had no audio, and you sounded so much better.
There we go. Yeah.
It's much harder to talk over the top of it when you're actually audible. Where it's much easier to talk over the top of you when I can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll still give it a good college try, don't worry.
Of course you will. Yeah. How have you been? It's been a month.
It's been a month. No, it's been like 4 weeks.
Something close to that.
Yeah. Why has it been a month?
Well, I was away
we were supposed to record last week
and a half, and then...
Oh, that's right, you went away.
On the road trip, yep.
No one noticed.
No, nobody noticed. That's it. I noticed. And then last week, I was crook as a dog, and I reached out to you at the last minute, and we couldn't organise anything, so it just didn't happen.
I was out on the road when you. Yeah, so it wasn't my fault for once.
Yeah,
I thought it was when you posted on Sunday saying no episode. I thought it was my fault. Yeah, it's just guilt.
So I think you've seen Midnight Oil since we spoke last.
Twice.
How was it?
And I also saw Kevin Borich.
Oh, nice.
From the Kevin Borich Express.
Yeah.
Front row, so close that my ears were hurting by the second song.
Right.
I could. His foot is about a foot away from me.
Right.
That's pretty darn close, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's short. He's a short little fella, so he was only up to my eyes, yeah. His foot was about where my chin is, and then his face is about where my eyes are. He's very, very he's a little fella. No, the Oils, they were okay. Yeah. I mean, the first show, which was their 1098 album, yep. In reverse,
in its entirety,
in its entirety, plus a bunch of other songs, was pretty good, yeah. They were very relaxed. They seemed to be, because it's like almost their last ever concerts, and so they were just kind of chill and relaxed. I think they had a good vibe about it because of that. Yeah. And we were reasonably close. Yeah, they were like 10 rows back from the front, so it was nice. Yeah, so that was all good. And
I take it very sceptically when artists say that they are ritaring.
Yeah,
I mean, how many farewell concerts has Crowded House done, and how many farewell concerts has John Farnham done, and
Kiss.
Kiss.
I saw the most recent of all the farewell shows just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. We'll see how many more of those I have to live through. They say, I think the only time they'll get together would be for some sort of charity type event.
Right.
Which would make sense to me. That would do something, or some major political event where they feel they need to exert their voice. So that was pretty good. As you may or may not know, I have a fairly long-standing tradition about concert T-shirts.
Yes.
And that you're not allowed to wear concert band T-shirts.
Right.
Well, first up, you're not allowed to listen to the band you're seeing that night, anytime during the day.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my my guitar teacher, the day of the 1098 show, and he agreed with me.
Yeah, right.
So a music professional agreed you should not listen to the band you're going to see on the day you're seeing them, because it will wear out your ears and reduce your expectation, unless you're seeing a band you don't really know.
Yes.
So then you try to familiarise yourself with it, so that's okay. So we both... he liked my philosophy on the no T-shirt. So the reason, for those who don't know... You can't wear the T-shirt from the concert, because all you're saying is, look, I'm at this concert, and it's like, yeah, we know because you're in front of us, we can see you. And you can't wear older T-shirts, because all you're trying to say is, look how much longer I've liked the band than you have. Okay, so they're all statements. And you can't wear another band's T-shirt, because you're saying, I'd rather see this band than that band. Right? And then my guitar teacher said the only exception he has to that rule, and I... For a moment, he almost had me convinced. Was that you can wear a band T-shirt of a band that you know the band is really into.
Right.
But then I'm saying, no, you're being really pretentious. And you look at me, I know more about the band than you do, because I know they like this band. So that doesn't work. So I have to go about that when I see him in a couple of weeks' time. But I know my mate Adam, who I'll go to all these concerts with, would wear a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it'd be... Metallica or some, and it was by chance it was Metallica. Yeah, so I decided I'd go and make my own band T-shirt. Right, so I went and bought a white T-shirt and a black marker, and a black and a red marker actually. And instead of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I did the alphabet backwards from J down to A, because I'd rather do my ABCs than my 1, 2, 3s. And instead of, and the band, instead of Midnight Oil, there were Noon Petrol. You know, straight over everybody's head. I was impressed with myself. Did not work anywhere else. So that kind of failed miserably. So then the Wednesday night show, that was a Monday night, the Wednesday night show had this massive buff-headed guy in front of me.
Right.
And followed by an even bigger buff-headed guy in front of him.
Right.
So a double buff.
Yep.
And there were the types of fans I don't like. Yeah. Which is pretty much all of them.
Yep.
I don't like any other fan. But yeah, they're just, they were, talking.
Yeah.
They'd lean over and talk to his mate at least twice every song.
Jeez.
Yeah. Plus, I don't get people who have to go up and get beer all the time at a show. But you're seeing this band. In this case, this is Midnight Oil's last ever show in Melbourne. You're ever going to see them in Melbourne, theoretically.
Yeah.
And you have to go out 5 times during the concert to get beers.
Yeah.
Right? And then 3 times go to the toilet because of the beers.
Yeah.
Right? So you're missing a third of the show.
Yeah.
I do not. When we were at the Kiss concert a few weeks ago, these, again, buffheads in front of us went off to get beers as Gene Simmons blows his flame.
Yeah,
it's one of the iconic parts of the show you want to see. And they miss it because they went off to get beer.
Yeah, right.
Is alcohol really that important?
No. No.
Yeah, and I just, and it's like when you get the movies these days, when people get up and walk out 14 times through the movie to get stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. It's not like you're in the lounge room. You can't get pause.
Exactly.
So and then I did see. So I saw those big. They were in a small venue, which is good, but it was still like a 2,000 seater, so medium sized venue. And then I saw Kevin Burrich in probably a 200 seater.
Oh wow!
Which is good. Which is and,
small club. Yep.
Yeah, and for those who don't know who Kevin Burrich is, he's a 70s and 80s sort of blues rock.
Yep.
Pop, not quite so pop, but blues rock sort of player. Great guitarist. So never been a huge fan. Never had much of time. But a friend was down from Sydney, especially to see the show. So me and Adam went along with him. Right. And his guitar playing was excellent. So that kind of made it interesting, even if I didn't know the tunes. Mm-hmm. And then I saw another concert, especially live streamed. Not exactly just for me, but I'm a member of a thing called the Instant Fan Club for They Might Be Giants.
Okay. A
limited membership, exclusive. You get all this exclusive stuff like these. They send you exclusive songs that never released anywhere.
Wow.
You get also, but they also do a live stream, a concert just for you guys.
Right.
So I got to see that on Sunday morning as well. So I've had a week of concerts. There's 4 concerts in a week.
Wow.
I couldn't really quite replicate the being there experience, but I did stick 2 speakers to my ears to try and make them hurt a little bit as well. But,
nice.
Yeah, so I've had a big week of music, basically.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And your trip, how was you went up to where? You went up to...
We basically circumnavigated New South Wales.
Oh.
What I didn't realise until we were halfway through the trip was that Paula and James, who live in Sydney, had pretty much never been anywhere west of the Blue Mountains.
Really?
Yeah. So
it blew them away, did it?
It did. So, for them, the idea of seeing kangaroos in the wild and seeing emus in the wild was quite a novel experience, which...
Wow.
For me...
And they're Australian?
Yes.
Lived here their whole lives?
Yes. Yeah. So
the people you associate with.
So we drove out to Parkes on the first day, spent the night in Parkes, and then the second day we drove across the Hay Plains to a little town called Balranald, and then hung a right there and went up to the Mungo National Park.
And how did you enjoy that?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
We could meet there one time.
We could.
It's got a half-half.
It would be about half-half, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We could meet there and do a shoot for a couple of days or something. If I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm dead, let's not do it.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to see was the walls of what they call the walls
Jericho.
of China. which is this
Jericho.
sand and rock formation on the eastern side of what is now a dry
Can I
lake
just check
bed.
something?
Yeah,
Whilst
sure.
I'm interrupting you like this, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah. So Lake Mungo dried out about
So if I was
10,000
to
years
say
ago.
something now, that would be interrupting you to be able to hear that.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
And what you've got down the eastern side is this crescent-shaped
So I was talking, I didn't hear where you were.
sand and rock thing that runs for about 20 kilometres down the side of what was this massive lake. And what's interesting is that the walls, as they are called, and you'll see when you look at the photos why they're called that, are actually moving at about 1.5 meters a year. Because the winds that come
Towards
across
you or away from you?
well, it depends which side you stand. So the winds come across from the west, blow all the sand up over the top and deposit it on the eastern side. So the whole thing is moving eastward gradually, year by year. And what is happening is that as the sand is being removed from the western side flank, it's exposing more and more archaeological remains. Now, for those who don't know, I have to say, the tour we did was led by an Indigenous person, and it was amazing. She knew so much of the Aboriginal history, and I came away with a newfound respect for the Indigenous peoples of this land.
Well, so you didn't have any before, is that what you're saying?
I am not saying.
What are you saying, Bruce? Bruce, I didn't know you were like that.
Look, I will confess, I grew up in a very racist little town in Western Australia, and, you know...
Named after you.
Yeah, exactly. Or the other way round. And it has taken me, you know, a large part of my life to shake off that, you know, built-in racism. And,
Wow.
and this... I'm not saying I was racist until a week ago. I was not, but...
Yeah, you're still racist. I'm still racist.
But no, I absolutely came away from this tour with just absolutely blown away. And for people outside of Australia who may not know, the oldest human remains ever found have been on planet Earth have been found at Lake Mungo.
I just have to clarify.
Yep.
What ancient human remains have been found not on planet Earth?
Good question.
I just need, for listeners who want clarity.
I simply wanted to clarify that I didn't just mean in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So the oldest human remains to date are dated to around about 50 to 60,000 years. But what I didn't realise was that there is now evidence that humans were in the Lake Mungo region as much as 120,000 years ago, which makes the Indigenous Australians the longest surviving culture of any culture anywhere in the world. You know, we think of the Egyptian Empire lasting for 3,000 years and think that was amazing. And then you hear...
Just so you know,
Yeah.
I think it is only Australia.
Okay.
Because the oldest remains known for anatomically modern humans as of 2017 are in Morocco of about 360,000 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay, well, thank you for the clarification.
That's all right. But yeah, definitely, I think they're up there, maybe.
Oh, it is. It's amazing, you know. And she, you know, on this tour, she was saying, you know, what we're seeing here, this discoloration is remnants of an ancient campfire, and you know, and she was basically telling us how old all of these different things that she was pointing out were. And Kath and I both came away and went, we're so glad we did the tour, because if you'd done it by yourself, you would have just walked around and just not even noticed this slight discoloration in the sand and given it any credence.
Well, why would you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, they could be making it up.
Yes, mate.
I mean, look, are you going to doubt them? Yeah, are you going to doubt anybody? This person, they told you it was the oldest remains on the planet Earth. They didn't mention the ones found not on planet Earth. And you see that rock over there? Yeah, well, that. Yeah, you can see it. I mean, I must say, on a few tours, I have had a few people astray on cinema. We make up stuff on the day.
Anyway, so it was great. We absolutely loved it. I took a heap of photos. From there, we went up to Burke. Not Burke, Broken Hill. We had 2 days, 3 nights in Broken Hill.
Nice.
While we were there, we had about 20 mils of rain, which is stuff all. That's nothing.
It's a lot for those places.
Exactly. And our next port of call was meant to be White Cliffs.
Oh, I'm going to say the next was a port.
All the roads into White Cliffs are dirt.
Yeah.
And 20 mils of rain was enough to cut the town off completely. Wow. And we had checked the...
Now, was it really cut off, or they're just not wanting you to go there? They're putting up signs just to...
They put up signs saying road closed. And I did actually speak...
Road closed to races.
Yeah. I did speak to a council guy at Broken Hill, and he said, look, because the first day we were in Broken Hill, the road out to Silverton was cut. Oh, really? And when we were trying to drive out there, we came to, this sign that said road closed, and there was these 2 council guys sitting in the truck. And so I went over and I said, is the road to Silverton not bitumised all the way? And he said, yeah, it is. He said, but there are causeways where there is water over the road. Yeah. And he said, you can go past the sign. He said, but you need to understand 2 things. One, your insurance will not cover you because the road is officially closed. So if you get into trouble, you're going to be footing the bill yourself.
That's good advice.
And 2, we will not be allowed to come and help you should you get stuck in floodwater. Wow. Because the road is officially closed. So I was like, oh, okay. But he said, look, there is traffic coming through from Silverton, so it can't be too bad. He said, probably best to come back in a couple of hours and check. So, sure enough, a couple of hours later, the road was open and we got to go to Silverton. So, what we did was, when we were ready to leave Broken Hill, we checked the New South Wales Roads app for road closures, and it said that the road from Wilcannia up to White Cliffs was open. And, of course, the road from Broken Hill to Wilcannia is all bitumen. That's 150-odd k's. So we said, OK, let's head off to Wilcannia and then we'll go up the road from there to White Cliffs. So we get all the way to Wilcannia, only to find the dirt road to White Cliffs is closed. So at that point, we had to ring White Cliffs, the hotel that we were booked into, and say, look, guys, we're really sorry, we can't make it. All the roads are shut. So we're sitting there by the banks of the now well and truly swollen Darling River, which I'd never seen with so much water in it ever. Wow. It's completely burst its banks at Wilcannia, and we decided, okay, where do we go? And so we decided on the spur of the moment, let's go to Burke. So
did you go to Burke or back of Burke?
Both. So we had to do the 250 kilometres across to Cobar and then hang a left and up to Burke. And of course, you get up to Burke and the river has broken its banks there as well.
Awesome.
It was so awesome, in fact, that the paddle steamer tour that we were hoping to do couldn't run because there was too much water in the river.
Oh, wow.
So, because it basically meant that the clearance under the bridge was too shallow for the paddle steamer to get through. So,
how amazing is that?
Yeah, so it was either that or the fact that I think potentially the jetty where you got onto the paddle steamer may have been underwater as well, so that could have also been an issue.
Maybe the flow's too much for the paddle steamer to counteract as well.
Possible. So we spent a couple of nights in Burke.
What was that like? Good?
It was good. I'd been there with Max back in 2009, so it was the first time I'd been there in 13 years, but neither Kath nor Paula or James had ever been there.
Nor the city slickers.
That's it. Yeah. So we did so you asked about where we had gone on this road trip, right? So it was supposedly a New South Wales road trip.
I'm not sure what this much depth of information.
But while we were at Broken Hill, Paula and James decided they'd like to do a drive out to Coburn, which is on the South Australian border. So we drove out there and we took photos of the border sign saying, South Australia, New South Wales. And so then when we got to Burke, we looked at the map and went, it's only 130 k's to the Queensland border, so we drove to the Queensland border.
I did like your photo of that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. And so then while we were there doing that, James said, God, if only we'd gone from, Balranald down to the Victorian border, we could have made it a 4-state tour. So yeah, so from Burke we then headed down to Orange and had a couple of nights there, and from there we headed home. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
And you're in just normal vehicle.
yeah. So he was in a WRX with its super hard suspension and low profile tyres. I did not envy him that one bit. And I was in the Fairlane, which has, a long wheelbase and high profile tyres and just floats over the bumps. So,
And is that your dad? That's not your dad's
yes,
car, is it?
yeah.
Is it with the newly installed wood panels?
That's the one.
You got them all done?
I got them all done.
And they look okay?
They look fantastic. I'm so happy with it.
Wow. Well done, you.
I should actually, I think I've got a photo on my
not that interested.
phone. Of course you are. I will flick them to you.
Just hold it up to your screen now with your camera and I'll look at it on your phone. That's probably sending it through.
You're expecting me to actually find them that quickly. There you go. That's them sitting on the chair.
Oh, that's pretty good. So they're only little things. They're not like full-size half-door panels or anything.
Oh, well, they're about
just bits of trim.
50 centimetres long, 55 centimetres, thereabouts.
Yeah, but I'm a little bit high.
Oh, only about 5 centimetres. Yeah.
I was thinking you do a half-door panels.
No.
It's just the trim.
Yeah, it just sits below the windowsill on each door.
So it looks like it's sort of like a tiger eye pattern kind of thing going on there.
I think that's just because of the lighting.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really happy with the way they came up.
Well done, you.
Yeah, thank you.
What a job. What a tribute to your dad too.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. So, and while I was driving around the state, the automatic transmission, typical T-bar automatic, gear shift, I happened to notice that around that is another piece of that wood panel that's still got the original print. So now I've got to get that off. Because I need to have it match.
Of course. You can't have the curtains not match the drapes. The carpet.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So that was the last couple of weeks for me. So
it sounds like a
it was a great trip. Really loved it. So
I'm off up to South Australia next week myself. Actually, I'm going on a houseboat for a few days.
Nice.
With my brother and his wife who are over from England, and my sister and her husband.
Right.
And me and the kids. So it's the first holiday me, my sister and my brother have been on together since I was about 10.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And which river are you on?
The Mighty Murray.
Yeah, right. From where to where?
Upstream a bit, turn around, downstream a bit.
Right. So departing from where?
From the place where the boat is.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Renmark, South
nice.
Australia. Yes.
Awesome.
So we're doing, we're doing a. My sister wanted. I don't think they're very serious. Like I think that city slickers, a bit like your friends.
Yep.
They're not very seasoned travellers because they want to break up the 7-hour road trip into 2 days.
2 days.
Having an overnighter somewhere because 7 hours seems to be too far. Me and my youngest, we got in the car about 11 o'clock the other day, and 500 kilometres later, just a little zip around the countryside for a couple of hours.
Yeah,
and there's my sister said, "Oh, it's a 7-hour trip. We better do it over 2 days."
I remember my dad telling me that his uncle, who he'd never met until my dad was in his 60s, came out to Australia and was in Bruce Rock, which was a little town I grew up in Western Australia. And Dad said, "Oh, we'll take you down to Hyden. You can see Wave Rock." And he went, "Oh, okay, great. How far is it?" And Dad said, "Oh, no, it's about 180 k's from here." And he said, "Oh, okay, where are we spending the night?" And Dad said, "Back here." He's like, "I'm not doing that in a day."
Well, if you're from England, that's a lot of travelling one day in England.
Exactly.
But, in Australia, for those who don't know, I mean, some of our rural properties are so big, 7 hours is a return trip just to the post box.
That's right.
Just your letterbox down the end of your driveway.
Exactly.
It's a long trip.
Yeah.
We're staying at a place called Sea Lake on the first night.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of Victoria's, one of Australia's designated dark sky sites.
Oh, nice.
So I might, depending on how the weather's looking, I might take a camera and
nice.
actually take a photo.
Beautiful.
Yeah. We've had, like New South Wales, we've had so much rain here lately. Everything is so flooded that it's kind of hard to know what things are going to be like. But we've had every little stream, every little creek has completely busted its banks. And Lake Eildon, our main lake, is at 99% capacity.
Wow!
And they're having to massively release water downstream to stop it. A few years ago, I remember being down at 16%. This is a huge lake. I think it's like 570 or something Sydney harbours or something like that.
Wow.
So it's got a lot of water to fill up. So we've had a ton of water. I was up at, I don't know if we've done the podcast since, but I was up at on the Echuca-Moama border a couple of weeks ago, and that was all massively flooded there. We've had tons more rain since. So
right.
Be interesting to see what the river's going to be like for the old houseboat.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for that. Maybe take some photos and
nice.
Bit of rural stuff and see what happens.
Sensational.
It's a bit out of my comfort zone taking photos, but we'll see how I take to it.
Yep.
See if I like it.
Cool.
And I remember last say I was going to Adelaide to do a talk.
I don't recall.
So I was supposed to be going to Adelaide to do Diamonds for they have a camera day. I was doing a talk on travel photography for Tamron. Well, it's had to be cancelled, I'm afraid, after 2 years of trying to get there, because I've finally got my hospital date. So, and it's 4 days before the Adelaide thing, and they're worried that whatever they find's gonna. Yeah. Well, don't tell my trouble and strife. It was supposed to be, what day is it today? It was supposed to be today.
And you pushed it back.
Pushed back because I want to go on the houseboat. But I forgot by pushing it back that it's now a couple of days before she has to go to Queensland for a work trip. No. So now she's stressing about that. So I've made life better for myself, but worse for her. That's October 6th. So this could be my last podcast. We might be able to squeeze one more in beforehand.
Excellent.
That'll be good. We'll get some answers hopefully, and because I've been a bit unwell this last week, I must admit.
That's no good.
Not good. Probably at my worst I've been since the crisis that took me to the hospital for doctors in the first place. Right. So
it's too much loud rock and roll, mate. That's the problem.
Well, it could be just too much doing anything. It just seems to be the case.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the service running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
Now we've waffled on for half an hour. Should we just go, or should we talk about some photography stuff?
We'll talk some photography stuff.
Okay.
David Marland, I don't know if you've got the email.
I did get there. I didn't read it.
Right. He said, "Hi guys."
Should I be?
Well, you should at least look at the photos. Put it that way. I'll read the text for you. Thought this might be a good topic of discussion to show just how far the everyday photo processing tools have come in a few years. While going through and rationalising my enormous catalogue, I decided to play around with some of my older, 2007, digital images using new versions of the software to see what differences there may be on the end result. 0213.jpg is the original RAW file, simply rendered as a JPEG taken in 2007. Church1.jpg is the final version as processed at that time. 0213 edited.jpg is the same RAW file photo edited in 2022 using this year's software. I make no claims to be any good with Photoshop or other software, nor do I claim this to be any sort of top-notch photo, but I reckon this shows the difference 15 years of development has brought. And then he goes on with some background, which we won't bother reading. But yeah, I have long maintained the same thing, that one of the reasons why I shoot RAW is for exactly this reason, that your ability to process, so what you know as an end user, as well as the state of the art of the software, is constantly in flux. And I have gone back with Darktable and revisited images that I shot 10 years ago and have got much better results, and particularly in the area of noise reduction.
Yeah.
That's an area that has improved massively. where the noise reduction that existed in software 10 years ago is just, it's like Flintstones compared with what we've got today. So, yeah.
I can't see the photos, so I'll just take your word for it. They're significantly better.
Okay. Well, I will put them in the show notes along with with David's
text. That's
not
not going to help you, is it?
No, it's not going to help you. Paul Sutton sent us a whole bunch. The Picon camera is a 3D printed interchangeable lens camera built around Raspberry Pi. Now, I haven't read the story, but I'd like to know what they do for the lenses, because I don't think you want to be 3D printing your lenses.
Oh.
So I'm sure you can buy the lens glass in a kit of some description and then mount that into whatever it is that you've 3D printed. But yeah, pretty novel concept. Build your own camera.
It takes screw mount lenses.
Oh, okay.
M42 mount stuff. So
fair enough. Oh, so you just use a UV filter as your front lens.
Well, just use the lens cap and make a pinhole camera.
There you go. Yeah. Luxury car maker Pagani unveils $110,000 large format camera. I'm not sure why a car manufacturer would be releasing a medium or large format camera, but there you go.
Makes you wonder what is the motivation. There's only 75 of them.
Right.
Going to be made, yeah, but.
And the first 30 of them are offered exclusively to people who bought their car. Now, if you have a look at the kind of car that these guys build, and then you have a look at this type of camera, I'm not sure that there's really a correlation.
Up too well?
I don't think so.
The camera weighs almost 5 kilos.
Yeah.
Without lens.
Yeah.
You know?
And
and the film must be loaded in the darkroom prior to use.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as autofocus or manual drive, motor drive.
I don't understand.
It doesn't seem like a match made in heaven to me.
We should look at some of the comments on Peter Pixel.
Of course we should.
Finally, someone catering to my needs. Leica special editions are so common. Scraps for the plebeians and trolls. It's a camera that shoots film, not analogues. Or is that anal logs? No, anal logs. If you want to have a laugh, check out the unbelievable image quality of the sample photos on the announcement page. Proof, if were needed, that an expensive camera doesn't automatically make you a great photographer.
Nice.
I did, in one of my articles coming up, there's some photos from the old space shuttle.
Yeah.
And
which particular space shuttle?
Oh, there's the ones that blew up a lot.
Right.
But someone's put a comment in the comment section. It just goes to show it's not the camera; it's the space shuttle. Nice. It's obscene that the rich spend their money on these things when there's so many hungry people in the world. Or maybe I've just lost my sense of humour, Gordon. I think you maybe have just a touch. I've got to say, I'm pretty disappointed with the comment section. I mean, it's
just not as hilarious as you were hoping.
Well, I mean, what are they thinking? I mean, it's like they haven't even tried, frankly, Bruce. I find rich people hilariously dumb. They hoard their money like it's the most important thing in the universe. Then when they die, they leave it all to their pet poodle. Yes. The only possible conclusion is that rich people are sociopaths who hate humanity and most likely themselves as well. But it sounds like they like poodles.
Yes.
And this is not for that. This is obviously not for that kind of person. If you're hoarding money, you're not buying a $110,000 camera you'll never use to go with your Pagani that you don't know how to drive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Next.
Apollo moon photos painstakingly remastered in stunning high definition. This was on Petapixel.
Funny you should mention, because I went down a rabbit hole on that space shuttle thing about fake moon landing.
Of course you did. And then the last one from... second last one from Paul. A closer look at some of Queen Elizabeth II's favourite cameras, because she was, of course, quite an avid photographer.
Well, she's not anymore.
Not anymore, no. She's kind of gone a bit cold on it. But, she... I don't know what.
Mind you, a problem with the handshakes on there, unsteady hands has been solved. Not very much at all anymore.
So apparently she liked her likers.
We should. I know she's not. She's a polarizing figure and monarchies and all that kind of stuff, but. Incredibly powerful woman, and I must admit, I did watch I did quietly pop on the funeral and watch it for 7 hours.
Oh wow!
So watched a whole 7 hours from it felt like from birth to death. It was that long the damn thing took, but we watched every minute of the thing,
Yeah,
and,
right.
It was because it's history. Yeah, you got to. Regardless of your viewpoints of the person, you're witnessing history. So I even made the kids watch some of it,
right?
Just to say, hey, remember you were there when, because it's someone who's now passed into history who will be remembered for having the back of her head licked by millions of people.
Excuse me?
Stamps.
All right.
I remember going up, look at the back of her head like you wouldn't believe. My mum used to make me have to lick her head twice a week.
I think we are blessed to have lived during her reign. I think she will probably go down as one of the most respected monarchs in the history of the British Empire.
Yeah.
I feel like during her time there was great stability within her own family as well as everything else.
Except them killing the princess.
Yeah,
and,
well,
the kitty fiddling and the ones they quietly shipped off to the insane asylums because of the inbreeding and
right, okay,
the divorces, the affairs. I want to be reborn as your underwear.
What?
Yeah, no, it was that's just off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough.
It's all class.
Okay.
And as she would have said, we are not amused.
And the last story that Paul sent us was one about the guy, Steve Sasson, who invented the digital camera. So that link will be in the show notes for anyone that wants to have a look at it. I have no idea.
Is he dead?
I haven't read it. I don't know.
Did he die?
I did as much research as you.
Did he come back to life, which would be even more?
He's not Jesus.
That's it.
What do you got on your list?
It looks like a good bit of history of digital for those who are inclined to. I'm just flicking through. It was a fairly long article, and the comments, great article. Someone said, "See, there we go." Gee. Oh. And then, of course, somebody else came out with the digital camera before him. Oh, there's always one.
Of course.
Oh, that was huge. What have I got on my list? I don't know. Tamron's releasing a 225 to 750 mm lens for Fuji.
Wow.
Well, that's its full frame equivalent focal value. So the 150 to 500.
Right.
That was made for Sony. But this is not that it's Tamron. But what I found was interesting was they've taken their full frame lens they made for Sony.
Right.
Reconfigured the back end and put it onto Fuji, which is APS-C size.
Oh, okay.
So they're deliberately. They're skewing, they're making full frame lenses for APS-C, which I thought was quite an interesting approach to stuff. So they're not trying to make a lens designed for the Fuji sensor, but just modifying a Sony's a lens made for Sony size sensor, which gives great 225 to 750 if you're an animal wildlife photographer. It's pretty damn good thing.
Good wildlife lens.
Well, 750 mm f6.7.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, pretty darn good. So, and speaking of Tamron, Nikon have just about to release the 17 to 28, which is the Tamron 17 to 28 with a Nikon case on the outside.
Right. Oh, really? Are they taking Tamron's hardware and just rebadging it?
Yeah, they're basically just redesigned the outside, which I thought was interesting. And that also, because Tamron are also now going into Nikon Z mount, so they've expanded into Fuji X, Nikon Z, so you can see where their direction's going forward. They're going to put a lot of their new releases to.
It's funny, this morning while I was only scrolling on my phone, so I didn't get a chance to save the headline, but I saw a story in my Facebook feed that said Nikon's year-on-year cash flow is up 48%.
Wow.
Which is unusual, That's not the story we've been hearing for the last few years. So I wonder,
if you only made $3 last year,
yeah, exactly.
and you're making $4.50 this year.
Yeah, there you go. But I wonder, is it things like taking third-party lenses and putting their own badge on?
Well, not your cost to bring out new products is significantly reduced. Obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's certainly a thing. Whilst flicking through stuff, I thought this was, once again, looking at the comments, it was someone talking about AI. Elia Liccardi, the Fuji ambassador in America, is a big landscape photographer and does tours and workshops and stuff. A nice guy. But he's come out with his own software.
Okay.
Which is mostly a plug-in for Photoshop and Lightroom, but it's based on pixel by pixel manipulation, where it's using AI to recognise the type of scene and adjust automatically. So it's taking away a lot of the mundane adjustments out of the Lightroom, the camera raw sliders and stuff. But looking through the thing, people talk about, I'll just get my AI to come up with a photo I want, and so it says one day there'll be no need for a camera, and this is what I thought. I've always thought, soon we'll be able to program in. I want a photo of the Eiffel Tower, and it'll this camera would fly over there, take the photo, and come back. That's not so much needed anymore. But the matrix will synthetically create both the image for you and your memory about taking the image, and embed these straight into your brain. So there's no need to produce the image on a screen. It'll be straight into your brain. But the kicker, the thing I loved the most was that the reason why we like photos often is the experience of taking the photo.
Yes.
And if it can create the
memory
of what the experience was like, then we're covered, So I thought that was a take. There's a take I've never thought about, which I thought was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now the next one is when I was looking at the space shuttle stuff. Is this guy has put together a lot of his time lapse, or his photos of the space shuttle, and put them into single images and stacked them together, and the star trails are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So have a look at photos that we've never ever seen anything of the likes before.
Now, I don't understand how the star trails have clearly got a long exposure effect, but they're not smeared. Like, is he pivoting the camera as the ISS is moving?
Smeared?
Well, because if the camera was just pointing out at one particular spot and the ISS is travelling around the Earth, wouldn't the... Okay, maybe not.
I don't know. All you have to do is go to the comment section and it's all answered for you there.
Of course it is.
Not by the guy, but by smart asses who want these sort of things. But I did. That's why I went down the. But then by following that, I then came across the guy. The guy mentions in his article that this other photographer taught him how to do it.
Right.
And then I went to this other guy's Vimeo page, and he's got this video which is just epic.
Right.
Of the space station. So it's time-lapse video of the space station going over aurora and star trails, and also it is very, very cool to look at.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll have to check that out after we finish recording.
Don't read the comments unless you want to get into it. Yeah. Now, one thing I was really pleased with this. Back in the I think it was the 80s or 90s. This guy went to a Depeche Mode concert, which in itself I don't know why, but he went to. But he got there. He's a keen photographer, and he weren't allowed to take cameras in.
Right.
So he had to leave his camera at security and went in. But he got the roll of film that he planned taking photos on. He strapped his name and address around the outside and wrote, "Please take some photos and send it back to me," and threw it on stage to the band. And the band got it, and then they took that and they filled it with photos and sent it back to him.
That is awesome.
I thought what a seriously cool idea.
That is great.
And so the story enamoured me so much, and it's all there for you. And then I came across a guy who's probably the most experienced portrait photographer in the entire world.
Wow!
This guy's done over 500,000 portraits.
Wow. Okay.
500,000 individual people. Because he takes the driver's license photo at a really but he had some tips on how to get the headline was DMV photographer perfects process and even has posing techniques. So I thought, well, here we go. You know, who better than us, and the world's most foremost expert at taking photos of people. And and apparently this is the way to do it. Get him to chin down just a tiny bit, look up a bit with the eyes, and a smile doesn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to improve your portraits, there you go. And that led me down to another article on license plate photography where this woman received her driver's license and it was a photo of an empty chair.
What?
When she'd got up after having a photo taken, the camera must have triggered again and taken a photo of an empty chair. And the software for the driver's license, or the guy didn't realise, just took the last photo taken. And so she's got this photograph of an empty chair on an actual driver's license. So that was very funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I liked that a lot. That was good. So that was it. That's all my stuff.
Fantastic.
So I looked some stuff up this week. It's like we're professionals or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, mate. So when is your hospital date?
October 6th.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
all right.
So
well,
maybe we can try and get in. So what we should do, we should record 2 episodes just before then.
Right.
One a normal one.
Yeah.
And one be saying goodbye.
Okay.
You know, and then we could get listeners to write in.
Yeah.
What we liked about Glynn.
Right.
And you could read them out at the end of it.
Excellent.
You know, it's like a wake.
That'd be a short episode, wouldn't it?
Short, very short. And now we're going to have 55 minutes of silence.
All right, mate. Well, we wish you well for your hospital visit.
Thanks. Well, hopefully we can get another. I know we won't get another podcast in, will we?
Well, I mean, we can make a special effort.
Maybe we should try. Because I don't know how I'll be afterwards. Whether I'll be able to get one in the following week or whatever.
Okay,
so.
fair enough.
And I could talk about my disastrous trip on the houseboat.
On the Murray, yeah.
Disastrous, no, so I'm throwing it in there now. Because me and my brother don't really get along that well.
Right.
So we're going to be locked up on a boat together. Family vacations, always fun.
All right, mate. Well, you have a good one.
I will, mate.
Enjoy your cruise. And we'll talk to you when we talk to you.
I'll give it a college try.
Yes. See ya.
I will.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.